All right, welcome back to my notebook chat. Please open your notebook to your next available page. And today we are going to be talking about simple random samples. So we are going to title this Simple Random Samples. Now there is a shorthand for that, and that is a SRS. What abbreviation? Simple Random Sample, SRS. Might see that now and again in worksheets, in books, things like that. So a simple random sample is the way to avoid having selection bias and convenience sampling. And it really helps you to make your study unbiased. And that is what the goal is. You don't want to have a study that is biased because, as we mentioned before, there is no validity to that study. So in order to select a simple random sample, we first need to understand what that means. So in order to have a unbiased selection, to avoid selection bias, we need a probability sampling. And some of you might understand probability a little bit better if you were in Mr. Ski's class last semester or this current semester. Probability has to do with the odds that you are going to get a certain answer. A probability sampling plan is a plan in which everyone in the population has a specified probability to be selected in the sample. So that would mean that there is likely going to be an even probability that I get selected in the sample versus Mr. Ski getting selected in the sample. So everyone in the population has a specified probability to be selected in the sample. All right, so in a simple random sample, this is the most basic method of sampling. So a simple random sample is the most basic method of sampling. And every possible group of units of the desired size has an equal chance to be in a sample. So in basic terms, every person / subject in the study has an equal chance of being part of the sample. So we are going to learn a couple of different probability sampling plans. The first one is the simple random sample. Now, You may have already clicked on, if you were just clicking on the links in order, you may have already clicked on the link to this, but what we are going to be using for a simple random sample is what's called a random digits chart, or a table of random digits. So if you opened this up, you would see it says line in the top left corner. It just didn't print right on mine. And all of the pieces on the left are in the 100s. So this one was 101, 102, 103. This is labeling each row. And then I've labeled each column as well, 1 through 8. So you can start at any spot in the table of random digits in order to get your simple random sample. It is important that you have this and you have links to it. I will continue to share the link to this table of random digits. This is how you're going to be selecting random samples for a while. There are other ways to get random digits. Mainly one is using a calculator, but since we're not in school, we're not going to be using the calculator. All right, so this is how we are going to use the table of random digits. I'm just going to make a note in my notebook. Random digits. So you can write down whatever you need to write down that's going to help you to understand this part. If you just want to pay attention, you can just pay attention. You do need to understand how this table of random digits works in order to be able to use it again. So this is how it's going to happen. You can start anywhere. Just for the sake of this beginning piece, I'm going to start up in the top left-hand corner. So I'm going to zoom in up there, make it so that we all see where we're going. So you can see everything here. And what we're going to do, we need a question. We need to know how many digits we're looking at. So let's just say for the sake of this, I am going to pick 5 3-digit numbers below 500. So I'm picking 5 3-digit numbers below 500. So if I start in the top left-hand corner, the first 3 digits I see are 192. And that is a 3-digit number that is less than 500. So that is going to be included. So then I look at the next 3 digits. I don't skip anything. I look at the next 3 digits. 239. That is also a 3-digit number below 500. Then I look at the next 3, 503. That is not a 3-digit number below 500. So I just skip past these 3 digits and I move on to the next 3. I don't skip 1 digit. I skip the whole chunk of 3. I'm doing everything in chunks of 3. So I go to 405, and that is a 3-digit number below 500. So far I have 3 of the 5 that I need. So next one is 756. That is not below 500, so I skip over those 3 numbers. And then I'm at 287, which works. And then my next one is 139, which also works. So once I get to the first 5 options, or however many I needed in order, then I'm done. So my 5 3-digit numbers below 500, which are selected completely at random, are 192, 239, 405, 287, and 139. So I'm going to give you another example because it's not always just find 5 numbers. Sometimes you need to pick names out of the graduating class. So if I needed to pick 20 students at random, first you need to number all of the students. Then you need to pick a random sample using those numbers. So what I have here is a list of the 50 states. So in my list of the 50 states, I have labeled Alabama 0 up to Wyoming number 49. I could have also chosen to label Alabama 1 and Wyoming number 50. Whatever you do, you just need to have them numbered and you need each number included. So now I'm going to go back to my table of random digits and I'm going to pick 2-digit numbers now that are below 50. Now, keep in mind, some of these are single digits. So, for example, Alabama is the digit 0. Alaska is 1 on my list. So, if I need a 2-digit number and it's actually 1 digit, it's going to be 0, 1, right? That would count for the number 1. So, now for this one, I'm going to start in a different spot. I'm going to start in row 12, column 4. So if I'm looking for row 12, column 4, that's right here. Row 12, column 4. So my first one I'm looking at is 71, which is not part of my numbers. I'm going to pick the first, I'm going to pick 5 states out. So 71 does not count. 19 does. That's below 49. The next one is 71 again. Doesn't work. 93 doesn't work. 52 doesn't work. 73 does not work. And then I've got 8, 0, 8. So that's my second state. I'm just picking out the numbers right now, and then I'll go back and reference my list of states, and that's how I'll know which 5 states I chose. So then my next one is 98. Doesn't work. 48, that one works. That's below 49. And then I've got 98. Nope. 45, that one works. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. So the next one that works is going to be my winner. So now watch what happens as I get to the end of the row. So 78 doesn't work. Now I just have this 5 on the end. So I'm going to take the 5 and 5 goes along and I wrap around. The next one down is a 6. So 56 would be the number. I'm counting in pairs of numbers. So then 25 is the next one, and that's my last number. The numbers that I had working are 19, 8, 48, 45, and 25. Now, if I started in a different spot on the table, I could have gotten 5 different numbers. So now I'm going to look at what I actually ended up getting. So 19 is Maryland. 8 is Florida. 48 is Wisconsin. 45 is Virginia. And 25 is Montana. So those are my 5 states chosen at random. So this is the same way that people are chosen for studies out of a list. I could have a bunch of people's names here and I would pick their numbers. You're basically just going through the table of random digits and picking out numbers that work within that category. So as you go on to the next assignments, you're going to need to use the table of random digits, and I'm just going to show you really quickly how you can use that to your advantage. So if I go to my table of random digits, this is what you see from your end. Now you can print this and highlight it in the same way that I was just highlighting it, or you can make a copy for yourself and use that and highlight on your own. I know you can't edit it yourself. So if I chose File, Make a Copy, maybe I say copy of and I write Miss Grove. And now I can just go through for myself, because now you would be able to edit, and I could highlight different numbers that I'm going to use. And maybe you can just highlight it on your computer like so. So then I know 77 was highlighted. So this way I made it so that you could highlight as you go. 55, 80, 0. Just highlighting as you go can kind of help you keep track of where you are, because I know it's so confusing to just look at a bunch of numbers and keep track of where you are. So I would highly recommend making a copy for yourself of the random digits table and working with it like that. Hope this was helpful. We will definitely be going over this in office hours as well.